Hello, everybody. Zach Lindquist here, and no, I've never actually formally done CrossFit. I'm wearing this t-shirt hoodie hybrid because, well, I liked it. Because I sometimes do like to go out running while it's raining, but not necessarily cold outside, and because it is, well, I bought it because it is from Operation Underground Railroad, which is a fantastic organization. If you have not heard of them, Operation Underground Railroad exists to protect and rescue children from sex trafficking, which is about as noble as a cause can get. You cannot. There are few causes as worthwhile as protecting children, which happens to be one of the major themes of this video today. So, if you are not, well, I mean, I'm not affiliated with them myself, other than the donations that my wife and I give to them. They do not sponsor me. I just thought that they were worth a name drop because they do such great work and they do very important work. Protecting the children is as important as work can get. So if you have not checked out Operation Underground Railroad yet, I would highly recommend that you do so today and see if they are a cause that you would like to contribute to. If you want to check them out, go to ourrescue.org. Now, onto our video. So today's video is a little bit different because I don't usually do TV or movie reviews. I've never done that before. That's not why this channel exists. But this channel does exist to promote the truth and to talk about important moral issues. So that is what I'm doing today as I review this show. Because one of my friends came to me and said that they'd been watching this show on the CW called Naomi. And they weren't sure why they watched the show because it's terrible. And I mean, I didn't even know the show existed because I don't watch the CW ever since the Arrowverse. I used to be a big fan of the show Arrow, but all of those shows got very woke very fast, so I abruptly stopped watching. I never bothered with CW after that. But so I didn't know this show existed because, well, first I don't watch CW, and because while my YouTube channel is very new and I have very few viewers, I still seem to get more viewers than this show. So, but my friend who actually watches this show said, "Yeah, I'm never watching CW again after last night's episode because it was not only bad, it was despicable. It was disgusting. It was disturbing. I will never watch this channel again." I thought, "Whoa, okay, so you're probably overreacting a little bit." And he told me what was in the episode, and I thought, okay, you're hyping this up, you're exaggerating. Then I actually went and watched what he was complaining about, and I thought, okay, you were underselling. This is actually awful. And this is on TV. So let's get into it, shall we? So, talking about the show Naomi on the CW, season 1, episode 10. What has me so upset about this? That is on TV in plain view that no one seems to know is happening because nobody actually watches the show. Um, well, quite plainly, the CW on this show is promoting the sexualization of children, and no, I am actually not exaggerating. I know we're hearing that a lot in reference to, I don't know, Disney or to certain schools in the public view, in the public discourse. That's being talked about a lot. But no, CW is actually doing this in plain view, unapologetically, and it's just happening. No one's talking about it. It's on their show in plain view, and no one seems to care. So I'm going to talk about it because it's disturbing. So the show, which is very poorly written, I mean, it makes no sense. It is a dumpster fire in and of itself. So it's already bad enough without all this craziness. But what really earns my ire about the show is that in this particular episode, the main character Naomi, she is pursued by an adult woman who owns I guess, a comic book shop that Naomi frequents. she is pursued by this adult woman in a very, way. Um, and they get very flirtatious. They make an evening of it. They get very close. It's framed as this kind of natural, kind of cutesy relationship that's budding. It's Now let me just emphasize: Naomi is a 16-year-old girl in high school being pursued by an adult woman. That's bad enough. That got me ticked off enough. But what happened later on in the episode was even worse. Okay, this was so much worse. So later on in the episode, another character, another teenage girl, brings her little 10-year-old sister. That's 10-year-old sister into another store run by a 30-something-year-old man, and this teenage girl says about her 10-year-old sister, "Don't worry, 10 is the new 16." Completely unnecessary line, completely unprompted. That's the line. 10 is the new 16. Now, not a few scenes earlier, we saw a 16-year-old girl being pursued by an adult woman in a very questionable context. Several scenes later, we're being told that 10 is the new 16. Can you guess the connection? So not only is the CW in this episode of Naomi saying, yeah, they seem to be promoting this. They seem to be saying, yes, it's perfectly fine for an adult woman to pursue a 16-year-old girl in high school. And not only that, guess what? 10 is the new 16. I'm going to let that line marinate for a minute. Now, that's not all that happened in that disturbing scene with that disturbing line. No, there's more. Because in this very scene, shortly after this big sister says about her 10-year-old sister that 10 is the new 16, we see a 30-something, maybe 40-something-year-old man take a look at this 10-year-old girl, and she looks back at him and gives what I can only describe as delicately as possible a seductive expression. I wish I had used or found a different word for that, but that's what it was. It was a come on look. It was a flirtatious glance. If you don't believe me, because I thought this was an exaggeration too, I'm going to show a clip. No audio because I don't want to get flagged or anything, but this actually happened in this scene. Just moments after the line came that 10 is the new 16, which came after a 16-year-old being pursued by an adult woman. This is the scene that popped up. Now, it's also worth interjecting here that this 10-year-old girl, again 10 years old, this is episode 10 of the show. All right, this is this girl's first appearance in the show, and she is nowhere after this scene. Her sole purpose in this episode and in this show appears to be, so far, to be sexualized. Again, a 10-year-old girl. They brought her into the show pretty much for this scene so that they could sexualize her. Tell me I'm wrong. She was nowhere in the show before this. She's nowhere here in this show afterwards. Her sole purpose was to give... Her sole purpose in this show was to be masqueraded in front of a grown man and give him a flirtatious look. That's it. CW, you freaks. You just freaks. So this 10-year-old girl, who is a real girl, this is a young 10-year-old actress, being put through this scene, by the way. Some questions need to be asked there, because if they're putting her on screen like this, I don't even want to know what's going on off screen, but that should be investigated for sure. Like CW, these producers, everybody involved in this episode, in the show, in this channel, should be checked out. And all of these young actors and actresses should be removed from the premises for their own protection. Just saying. Like, at the very least, we should be looking into that. Because this is a 10-year-old girl, a 10-year-old actress, being pushed to give a grown man a come-on expression after hearing that at her age it is perfectly acceptable to act like a flirtatious woman, and that it's perfectly acceptable for a grown adult to pursue a flirtatious young woman. So that is happening on TV in plain view. This is being pushed on our youth by the same people in Hollywood who dare to judge us, the normal people, who dare to lecture us on moral issues. This is what they are pushing. Not gonna lie, I had to do a few takes of this video because I started gagging while I was talking, because this is just so... yeah, let me tell you, you gotta watch what your kids are... You have to heavily supervise what your kids are watching on the TV, on the internet, what have you, because this is mainstream TV that this stuff is being promoted on. I swear, we're not a stone's throw away from seeing Elmo on Sesame Street going, "Hey kids, today we're going to talk about homosexuals and how they do the deed. Here comes Big Bird with illustrations." You think I'm exaggerating? Just you wait. We have seen nothing yet. If we don't stand up now, if we continue patronizing these freaks, this is going to escalate, because the sexual issues always escalate. I've been saying this since the gay marriage bill was passed back in, what was it, 2015, I think. I've been saying this for years, that this is always going to escalate. We keep on giving more ground, and it's going to keep going. And I did say back in 2015, look, if you can be excited as you want about this gay marriage being legalized, I'm just telling you that it's not going to stop there. They're going to continue to seek ground. Sexual issues always escalate, and I am predicting that pedophilia is next. And what do you know? It's not even a decade later, and this stuff is being pushed on mainstream TV. Tell me I was wrong. But my college friends thought I was crazy for saying it, but here we are. And I don't even want to say it now. Okay? I don't want to be talking about this. I did not start this channel thinking I was going to be reviewing TV shows, but here I am. Because this stuff is in the mainstream. It's cultural. It's happening. And turning my head away from it, ignoring it, is not going to help anybody. Same goes for you. So at the very least, the CW should be investigated. People involved in this show should be investigated. With this episode should be investigated. And these children, these actors and actresses, should be removed indefinitely for their own protection. Because if this is what's happening on camera, I don't want to know what's happening off camera to these children. And they are children. And it is our job to protect the children. So at the very least, you need to stop watching CW. That's at the minimum. The CW needs to no longer be patronized by anybody, as far as I'm concerned. They have proven that they are not only woke, but that they are pure evil. Okay, you can say I'm exaggerating. I don't think I am. This is sinister, and it needs to be stopped right here. The more we let this go on, the more children get hurt. If we put our heads in the sand and try to pretend it's not happening, it's going to happen a whole lot more. And I don't want to see the children pay the price for this, for our apathy, for our inaction. Time to step up. It's time to step up. You, me, everybody. Christians especially. This is our job. To stand for good and truth. To stand for what is good. To bring people to Christ, who is the standard of good. And protecting children, the most innocent among us, that is a very big part of standing for what is good. So let's get on it. Let's stop being inactive in the culture, Christian people. It is time to grow a spine and do something. In the meantime, I thank you for watching and listening this long, because I am amazed that I have been able to keep talking for this long, because I haven't even been gagged. It's good for me. Well, until next time, thank you for watching and listening. I'm Zach Lindquist. God bless.